Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 47
47.
of the Calypso Cigar Review podcast.
Yes, sir.
We're here for you, America, and other countries as well.
That are in this world.
Yes, the global economy.
We don't care about the universe because none of the number systems track the universe listeners, so we don't know what we've got.
But if you're out there, if our signal's going out there to alien planets and they hear us and they like us, just
click
on Facebook.
like.
Yeah, click like on Facebook or something, and we'll definitely give you a shout out.
Yes.
So today we have a special cigar.
treat, right?
It is a new cigar that is yet to be released. I think the only real place that you can get this right now is on Cigar Federation because they are working very closely with Ezra Zion.
Yep.
But this is the Ezra Zion FHK.
As usual, beautiful presentation by Ezra Zion.
Mm-hmm. Very cool presentation.
I have had this, but I had it. Shout out goes to Brandon Holtzworth, the rep for Ezra Zion, for stopping by and giving me this one after I hounded him on Twitter for a couple hours. Mm-hmm. He came by the next day and gave me one, but it was a salesman sample right out of the car, and it smoked great. Mm-hmm. It's been sitting in my humidor now for about 10 days. Let's see what happens.
Yep, and I talked to the guys over at Ezra Zion as well about getting some samples, so apparently they heard us, so that's good. So this is the second cigar release in the Honor series. The first one was the Reagan.
Right.
This one is the FHK. What does that mean, I wonder?
I don't know, but I think you told me.
I did, because I have information on it. I'm looking at the official press release. This is a press release that was on Half Wheel, and they're out of Dallas, Half Wheel. Gotta love Half Wheel.
Shout out to Half Wheel.
Yep. So Chris Kelly, co-owner of Ezra Zion, says this. We know it's symbolic and somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but we wanted to ring in the new year by launching the project that had been in the works for so long. It'll be the first cigar in the world released in 2014. That's cool.
Nice.
We had two goals with the FHK. We wanted to be unique, to use unique tobaccos from several different countries, and wanted to leverage our buying position to offer a lower price point than our other lines. And this does come in lower than the other lines.
Nice.
From Kyle Hoover, who's the co-owner, he says the name FHK stands for Fathers of Hoover and Kelly.
Nice.
Being history buffs, we researched our family heritage and we were amazed at what we found. War heroes, ministers, statesmen, and hard-working entrepreneurs. Chris had no idea to tribute to our forefathers who made us just who we are today. The idea seemed to click, and we went for the FHK as a cool way to pay homage to them.
Very nice. Shout out to the fathers
of Chris Kelly and Kyle Hoover. So very cool. And it's going to come out in 4 sizes, starting at $9. This one is the second size, and it is listed as the Character. It's a 6x52 torpedo.
Yep. And
the other sizes it comes in is the Inspired, which is a 5.5x50. That runs $9. This one runs 10.
Okay.
The Stature, which is 7x54, runs 10. And the Truth is a 7x44, and that one runs 9.
Ooh, that's like a long Corona.
Yeah, that'd probably be our favorite, I bet.
Yeah, probably
the series. And the boxes look really cool. They got a little cutout so you can see the windows on them. And let me show you the pictures here from Half Wheel if you can see this. I don't know, my crappy ass.
Too bright, yeah.
My crappy ass tablet. But it's too bright.
Yeah, can't see it.
That was useless. Okay. But it is a very cool.
Like 10 seconds right there,
Wasted 10 seconds. I'll cut that out. Shut up. Shut your face. Shut your face hole.
I hate your ass face.
Exactly. So to give a little details about this cigar, country of origin is Nicaraguan. Factory is the Plasencia Cigar Factory. Wrapper is Mexican San Andres. The binder is Indonesian. Ooh. Sounds interesting. Dude. And the filler is Brazilian and Nicaraguan. So, cool deal.
Let's see what happens.
We're going to give it a cut and a light.
Take the footband off.
Yep, I took mine off because I didn't want to get burning on my foot there. And
yeah.
You want to use my little cutter that has the hole for the torpedo?
Sure.
So it is a beautiful looking cigar. The wrapper is minimal veins. It's a dark brown wrapper. Smell is pretty spicy on the foot. A little earthy. Cold draw? Did you get a cold draw?
Yeah, pretty open.
Yeah.
Not explosively open, but it's open.
Spicy cold draw.
Yeah.
Give it a light, see what we think here.
With our Royal Gold lighter that my emblem is rubbed off, but it is the Royal Gold lighter.
Yep, provided by Royal Gold. Thank you, Royal Gold, for the Zycar executive ones that no longer exist.
I know, so if these break and we send them back to Zycar, they're going to send us the new crappy one.
Nah, I'll just ask Royal Gold to send us a couple extras in case.
And then they'll be like, hey, we're out of that one. We got the new one.
Damn it. So first draw, a little musty.
I got that. That's mine.
Earthy and musty. I like that, though. I like musty. The taste of aged tobacco.
We both have bright orange cherries going.
Yep. Some little notes here from Half Wheel. It's kind of interesting. The next in the honor series was going to be actually the MLK, but those plans were dropped in favor of the FHK, which I think is good.
Yeah.
I mean, MLK, get them later, but
nothing wrong
honor
with
your fathers.
honoring
It's a good
MLK,
deal.
but honor family first. Nobody else is going to honor them.
Exactly. Well, that's interesting. Indonesian. That's something different.
Something different.
Yeah. These guys constantly surprise me. They put out some great cigars.
They really do.
I can't think of another brand that has put out in their first round of cigars. Just knocked it out of the park.
Knocking them out of the park right and left.
Yeah, just crazy. The Eminence, the Tantrum,
the Jamais-Vu.
Jamais-Vu, just,
it's great stuff.
Freaking cigars.
Great stuff.
I haven't had, the only one I haven't had, I think, is probably
The Reagan, and I meant to ask Brandon for a Reagan, and we got to talking, and I totally forgot about it.
Oh, well.
I have had the Reagan.
Get there eventually.
The Reagan's not my favorite of the group. I'll take the other three by far, but you should try the Reagan.
A lot of people like the Reagan, so yeah.
It's a good stick. I like these other, but you're allowed to like things better than other things.
No, and that's true. I mean, that's part of why we do this. We love, trying new things, and I may like a cigar that you don't like, and this guy might like it, and that other guy might hate it, and so.
It's a peppery retrohale.
I haven't drank it.
Spicy.
Yeah, that is spicy on the retrohale.
But if you go back and listen to our Ezra Zion event here at Calypso Cigar, did we mention that we're at the Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge in Richardson, Texas?
And I am Brandon Luna.
And I'm Randy Rankin.
We didn't mention that either.
No, we didn't.
But we've been doing this a lot, so
people know us. People love us. We're known we're world renowned.
Yep.
But Chris and Kyle, I mean, they are. Yeah, go back to listen to that interview with Chris and Kyle, and they talk about how they really get in there and dig to find the right tobacco that they want to make, that they want to use to make their cigars, and the time and effort and passion really shows in their cigars. And it was a fun event, and it was a good interview. So go back and listen to that one after you listen to this one.
That's the way you should do it. So this is our second full episode for the new year, 2014.
Right. Yes.
What's the year been like for you so far?
It's typical.
Typical year? Nothing new and special?
Yeah. In the cigar business, it's dead in January.
Status quo.
Well, because everyone bought cigars for their cigar-loving friends, so now the cigar-loving friends don't have to buy cigars because they've already been purchased for them. But which is cool. It means we've sold them all in December, so that's nice. But generally, it starts to pick up the end of February. It takes a while to get it going again. But as far as personally, nothing exciting other than working open to close because Matt was on vacation.
Yeah.
So this is my last day of doing that for a while, and I am tired. Just to let you know.
I'm with you. Yeah,
but
I can
staying
imagine
up late for you guys. Staying up late.
Doing a big stretch like that, by yourself. Being the only
Especially
guy.
when it's slow, because then it's like, oh my God, I have nobody to talk to. And nobody was tweeting or texting or anything. It's like, somebody say something to me.
I was talking to you here and there.
Yeah, from here and there.
But it's for me, I'm in the banking industry, and it's a busy time for us because there's lots of crap going on, and they're changing a bunch of stuff. So it's, just trying to get it all lined up for the new year.
Right.
So I've been actually pretty busy the first couple in the year so far.
First part of the year.
Yeah, first part of the year. More so than normal, so.
Smoked anything new and different since the last episode?
No, not really.
Well, Pedro gave us something. What was that he gave us the other day that we both smoked?
What was that?
It was a cigar.
Yeah. Oh, it was a Don Pepin. He gave me a Don Pepin cigar. It was
the new Don Pepin or some.
Yeah, it's like an offshoot budget Pepin.
Yeah.
I forget what the hell it was called.
Wasn't bad.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
And it was very helpful for our listeners. They're like, what the hell kind of cigar
It
are you
was
talking
very
about?
mild for a Pepin.
It was
interesting.
It was, yeah.
But it is a Don Pepin that I smoked.
And then after you left, he started talking to me, and he gave me a 64 Padron that I'd had one years ago. So it was nice to revisit that cigar. It was very good.
You lucky bastard. That's
Thank
one
you,
of my
Pedro.
favorites. One of my favorites. 64 Padron is.
We love
is,
Pedro because he shows off his collection, and he's the most generous guy in the world. He's just, we love the dude to death, whether he's generous or not, but he is so generous that he's always given us cigars.
Mm-hmm.
But he also likes to show them off.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll say, "Hey, have you seen this cigar?" And he'll put it in your hand, and you're holding it. And you're like, "Well, thanks, man." It's like, no, that's not one of the ones I've given to you.
little Indian giver sometimes.
So now it's kind of like when he offers me one, if he just puts it in my hand, I always give it back to him, like, here.
Yeah, just wait to see if he's going to give it to
See
you
what
or
he
not.
says.
Yeah.
But Pedro listens, so we love you, Pedro. So we're not ripping on you, we're teasing you.
I'm actually trying to find that cigar that I smoked because I have it in here.
Do you?
I put it in the What's Burning section of Stogie Friends, which is a great forum to go to.
Yes.
And they have a great little section in there where basically people just post up pictures of what they're smoking now. And people can be like, hey, I've had that, it's good, or that cigar sucks. Whatever.
That's what we do, but we do it for an hour.
Exactly, yeah. So I know I posted it in here, but who knows how friggin' far back it is.
Yeah, who knows. And we can be found on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, Podomatic, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook.
Yep. Get on the old Facebook there and like the Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge.
And we will give you a shout out if you do that, and we have several shout outs today.
Oh yeah, we got quite a few actually, but we'll get to that later.
Yep.
So first off, very musty, a little spicy on the retrohale.
Mm-hmm.
Very different than the other.
Yeah, it
Ezra
is.
Zions.
It's not. This is nothing like the Jammy Boo or the Tantrum.
Yeah,
And
which is
or
good.
even the Eminence, which is
bring
good.
in-
You don't want every cigar to taste similar at all. That'd be ridiculous.
Yep, you want to bring something different in your line, and that's what they've done. They brought a different flavor profile to the line, so this is going to be a little different than the Tantrum and the Eminence.
Are you
and
getting a little bit of that citrusy taste?
I am not right now.
Okay. Could be.
I'll see if I get it later. Here it
Could
is.
be
I
in my
found
palate.
it. Yay!
Could be
It
my
was
palate at the
the
moment.
Tabacos Baez
Mm-hmm.
Series SF.
That's it.
That was the Don Pepin.
Want to give us that Connecticut, that Newman
I didn't get one of those from
You
him.
didn't? What was it called?
Perla Del Mar.
Perla
That's
Del Mar. That was a nice little Connecticut.
Yeah,
Not bad.
J.C. Newman one.
Yeah.
That's pretty highly rated, actually. A lot of people
Yeah.
have liked that this
I
year.
think it was in the top 25 last year or this year. Maybe it's last year.
I think it's this year.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was pretty new. I believe you are correct, though. That it was in some top 25 list somewhere.
And it was a CA top 25. I just don't know what year.
And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about was the top 25 lists that were out there. There's a lot of bloggers and a lot of people that have their own lists. And I like to always read up on those. And
But we
see
didn't do
what
our
people
top
are smoking.
25. We were supposed to, and we didn't do it.
Yeah, we didn't.
Figured people have been inundated with top 25 lists.
Exactly.
But I would like to do a top 10 of the year list that were new last year, specifically.
Okay, we'll put that together.
Okay.
We're a little late on that scene, but because a lot of people already have theirs out and all that's been said and done, I think. But we can still put one out. Why not?
Why not?
Why
They
not?
haven't heard our list.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Oh, here's the press release for the FHK on a Cigar Federation. Top 10 cover your. This is a Cover Your Ashes top 10 cigars for 2013. Now this is it's so interesting to get all these different lists because like what I noticed was like the list, the Cigar Aficionado list is a Cigar Aficionado list is a Cigar Aficionado list. It's going to be something that makes people go "Brr" every single year.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be stuff in there that you can't get because it's Cuban or whatever, and there's going to be stuff in there that's just like, really, that cigar? So, but then you get into the bloggers, and they have their lists, and it's always interesting to see where they lie because they'll either be, what I've noticed is they're either going to smoke the stuff that everybody smokes, and there's a lot of stuff in there you're like, yeah, awesome, or they're going to smoke the really boutique-y stuff that you haven't even heard of, and you're like, what the hell? I haven't heard of this damn thing.
Right.
So these guys have there's a couple of different reviewers on there. We got Brian Coney, and these are from Cover Your Ash, and he has the Perla Del Mar as his number 1.
Really?
His number 2 is the Emilio 1502. Number 3 was the La Aurora 107 Maduro, which is a great
I
smoke.
haven't had the Maduro.
La Gloria Cubana Series RS D'Li was
We
his
love
number
that.
4. We liked that a lot. Emilio AF2, which is also very good. A lot of Emilio in there. Number 6 was the CAO Flathead, which we reviewed recently.
Yes.
We liked it a lot.
Like it. Yeah.
Romeo y Julieta Romeo made his number 7. which
Romeo?
was-
Not the RYJ?
Nope, the Romeo.
I thought the RYJ was the release last year.
That was the release last year, but this is just
Okay. So it's not a 2013.
It says these are his list says we smoked throughout the year, not just cigars that were really
Okay.
reviewed or released through 2013.
Okay.
The Casa Miranda Chapter 2, which I heard a lot of good things about. I have not had it. And that was his number 8. The number 9 was the EPC E-Stoner, which I had and reviewed on one of my quickies. And that was a butt kicker for an EP Carrillo. Totally different. They're usually kind of in the middle, like medium range.
Right.
And that cigar gave me the nickups, something fierce. It has a lot of power to it. So I was glad to see that make the list. I like that cigar. Yeah. Number 10 was the Gurkha Cellar Reserve. So
I've had that.
I've heard a lot of good things about that.
No, I had the 125, whatever it's called.
The 125th anniversary. The one that was in the top 10.
Yeah, I had that one.
And he got a bonus one, number 11, the Fuente short story Hemingway, which is that's a great cigar.
It's a great cigar. It's been around forever, but it's a good cigar.
So we got Jason Zahner has his list, and I'm going to go backwards on his because I should have done that on the other one. His bonus smoke was the C&C Corojo Robusto, which I've heard a lot about.
I've had it. It's okay.
I have not had it. Number 10 was the San Latano Oval Connecticut Toro. I have not had the Connecticut San Latano Oval. Number 9 was the Monte, which we reviewed.
Very good cigar.
By Monte Cristo. Number 8 was the Ortega Series D Maduro Gordo, which the Ortega Series D is awesome. It's a good smoke.
Yeah.
Number 7 is the Espanola Habano Robusto. Number 6, the Fratello Toro. I've heard so much about the Fratello.
That's all I'm hearing about lately.
I know I want to try it so bad. Number 5 on his was the La Roma de Cuba Mi Amor Reservo Maximo. That's a big cigar. Number 4 on his was the La Polina Classic.
Yeah, we reviewed that.
Number 3 on his was the Tap Mummy, which is kind of surprising because I did not like that cigar at all. But a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Number 2, Herrera Esteli Toro Especial, which we like.
Yep.
And number 1, Ezra Zion Tantrum.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's probably going to be our number
Well,
one.
I was just thinking, so be thinking about it.
Yeah.
And the third segment will be shout-outs and our top 5 of the year.
Oh, we got to do that now? Crap.
You can think about it.
No. That's too
Doesn't have to be top 5 like in ranking. Our 5 ones that stood out for us for the year.
Ah, man, that's going to be hard.
There's a list on Cigar Federation of all the new cigars of the year.
That's true.
So come on, we got to tease something for the final round, for the final.
I guess. But anyway, yeah, so it's always interesting to see those lists, and that was just a couple of guys from the Cigar Federation site that have their own Cover Your Ash site. And the Cigar Federation guys, they have their own lists on there as well, and they had a ton of the boutique stuff that I had never even heard of. I was just like, I don't even know what that is. Sounds great. I don't have to look for it. So it's always funny to see those. And then a lot of bloggers have just, regular, like Fuente, Padron, just the regular stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Macanudo Crew Royale, which is a good smoke.
Yeah.
Not knocking it.
I don't know if that makes any list or not, but
It saw it on a list. I don't remember what list I saw it on, but yeah, it's on there.
it might be on the top 25 for CA. Who knows?
It's a good cigar. There's nothing wrong with putting it on a top 25. It's better than a classic Macanudo.
I don't know, man.
Have you had the Crew Royale? It's really good.
I don't know, man.
It's really good.
I don't know, man. I'd have to have one. I can't
Matt
say.
smokes it.
I can't say.
And
That
Matt's
doesn't
not going
mean-
to smoke a Macanudo unless it's a good Macanudo.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything though. I mean, he's all over the map as far as what he likes. So here's the cigar of the year list from Cigar Federation, and this is the one they basically took all their separate lists and combined it into one based on what they had on their list that were similar. And they had number 10, the Jameson Santos de Miami Lancero. Never heard of it. Regis Mitchell Orchant Seleccion, number 9. Heard of it, haven't had it. Number 8, El Cedro, hadn't heard of it. Number 7, Ortega Series D Maduro Lancero, which I'd love to get that Lancero. It sounds awesome. Number 6, Nomad Esteli Lot 1386. Heard a lot about it. Man, it sounds awesome. I'd love to try that. Number 5, J.D. Howard Reserve by Crown Heads, which I've also heard a lot about.
Heard about that.
Number 4, Casa Fernandez Miami Reserve Maduro. A lot of people made that. It's on their top 10 list. That's very popular right now. Number 3, Ezra Zion Tantrum. Number 2, the AKA Nth Degree, which is pretty surprising.
Yeah.
Haven't had it, but I just think I haven't seen that on anybody else's top 10 list.
Yeah.
Number 1, Crown Heads Headley Grange Drumstick, which is very limited release.
Yeah.
And it is a Lancero, so.
Okay, my burn's a little off, but not by much. The ash is, I got a nice size ash. It's just not a very good looking form. Could be how I lit that, though.
Yep. Mine is, I ashed mine because it was getting kind of wonky. But my burn is a little bit off, but still very, very tasty, first third.
I'm trying to pick up what that flavor is that I'm getting. It's not citrusy, but I'm ashing now.
It's definitely woody-ish.
Yeah.
And earthy. Very earthy and woody.
Not near as peppery as the other stuff that we're used to smoking from easy, but it's very good taste.
Yep. And there's really no hint of sweetness to it. Usually with the other ones, there's a little bit of sweetness, but no hints of sweetness. So totally different than the other cigars. If you're a fan of Ezra Zion, definitely, so far I say definitely try it. And, get it. It could fit somewhere in your palate as far as being, I want an Ezra Zion, but I want this one instead of that.
Right.
Yeah. It's different, which is good. It's good to have that variety in your line. You don't want all your cigars tasting the same.
Right.
Padron. No, I'm just kidding.
But if you're going to taste the same, at least taste good like
exactly,
a Padron.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm almost done on my first third.
Yeah, I am too. We're going to take a little break, and we'll come back for the second third of the Ezra Zion FHK.
Car 55, this is dispatch. We have a 211 in progress in your area. Please respond.
Dispatch, this is Car 55. We are in the vicinity and on our way. Did you say this was a 211?
Yes, 211, robbery in progress.
211. That reminds me of that great cigar by Esteban Carreras, the 211. Man, I could go for one of those right now.
Okay, whatever. We have a farmer in the area whose goats are getting stolen. And this is where it gets weird, saying it's a chupacabra.
A chupacabra? Are you kidding me? Man, that's another great cigar by Esteban Carreras.
Whoa, hold on now. Let's keep our focus here. I mean, this guy called in a 187 on his prize-winning goat, Mary.
187? You're killing me here. Yet another great cigar by Esteban Carreras. I just think this guy sounds crazy.
Yeah, you might just want to call in a 5150 and call it a day. You know what I mean?
5150. That's it. You call a paddy wagon. I'm turning around and going to the Calypso Cigar Shop in Richardson for an Esteban Carreras cigar.
Hey, that sounds great. Can I join you?
Absolutely.
Esteban Carreras cigars. It'd be a crime not to smoke them.
All right, so we're into the second third of the Ezra Zion FHK.
Okay.
And it's got a good ash on it.
Yeah, I had a good ash. I had to knock it off, but
The burn is a little wonky, but that, could be attributed to the fact that they were
in a car for a while and
samples
then in my locker for 10 days or whatever.
So, yeah. I'm not going to
Matter of fact, it's not even been 10 days now to think about it. I think he was out here on December 2nd. No, because it was a day I wasn't expecting him to actually be working, and so Chris and Kyle, Brandon was out there busting his ass on a day that I didn't think any rep would be out there, so kudos to him.
Good to know. So what are you getting in the second third? Has it changed on it at all for you?
I'm not getting a lot of change.
I am getting some change.
Still getting the woodsy stuff. There's something I just can't, and I was even... It's not coffee, but it's something...
It's like...
little...
To me, what I got was like slightly burnt espresso. It's like...
Yeah, so I had like a coffee taste in my
thoughts.
But
it's not. Okay. It's like a deep, dark... Like when you get to the end of the coffee pot, and it's been sitting there a little bit, and it's a little bit burned. It's like that, which is not a bad thing. It's really robust and flavorful.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of underlying, which I could see maybe people think that it might be that the cigar is bitter.
Yeah, I think that's part of the flavor profile.
It's part of the flavor profile. Yeah. So it definitely is spicy on the retrohale still. It's probably a little more peppier. Peppier.
It's like a happy. It's so
happy.
peppy.
It's happy. It's a little peppery.
Come down.
More pepperish on the second, third retrohale.
Yeah.
And the woodsy note for me is not a cedar. It's more of a balsa. No, I'm just kidding. It's more of a particle board. No, that'd be horrible to get in a cigar.
It's more like petrified wood.
Yeah. No, it's more of an oak. I'd say it's more of an oaky note to me than a cedar. But that's just me. I don't know.
I could see that. Maybe mesquite. No, I'm joking.
Mesquite, right? Pecan wood. That's what. And see, we
have
talked
been
pecan.
getting pecan in a couple
of cigars. That's more like a pecan wood, probably.
Yeah.
But actually, this
might
be.
This
what,
might be.
Yeah, it might be what it is, because it is kind of like it's like a slightly bitter.
Yeah.
That kind of combines with the coffee with the bitter wood. When you think of pecan, when you get that little that shell that kind of sticks to the pecan, you get that taste in your mouth.
What's that? But
it's like that.
Okay, cool.
So definitely a different flavor profile than the other cigars in the Ezra Zion line, but that's not a bad thing. Definitely on the milder side. It's more of I'd say it's not mild to say the least.
No,
it's like a medium. Whereas the Tantrum's like an ass kicker full, and the Jamais Vu is probably medium, I would say, if I remember correctly.
I'd put Jamais Vu at about a 7 to 7.5. I'd put this at about a 6.5.
Where would you put that eminence?
6.5 to 7. This is probably the 6 to 6.5.
Okay, yeah.
That's just my own unscientific chart right there, buddy.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I've smoked enough of them other than this to have an idea.
I'm with you.
I really like the Eminence. That's a good cigar.
Yep. I'll have to have the Eminence again. I had one at the event, and I liked it a whole lot.
Yeah. And we'll review it later. We haven't reviewed that one yet.
And I think for me personally, the Tantrum is the top number one out of the Ezra Zion line so far. Eminence would be number two. Still didn't finish this, so I don't know. It might take over. You never know. But out of those two,
I think all three of those are. Tantrum's way up there.
Yeah.
Jamais Vu and
Eminence are,
Eminence
neck and neck.
really close. I really like them both. If you ask me one day, I might tell you a different thing the next day. You never know.
Yep, and that's the great thing about those. They're very much mood cigars. It's what mood are you in? You know, you got Ezra Zion has a cigar for each of your moods. You want to be real kick-ass, and you had a bad day at work, and you want something that's going to blast out your palate. You smoke that Tantrum and just be like,
we have box buyers on the Tantrum, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. We have people that buy the box.
And you should, because that's not going to be around forever. It's a limited run cigar. So, yeah. So
shh, don't tell anybody.
It's that time. You know what
it
time
is? It is that time, Brandon.
It is that time. Time for the Esteban Carreras Creature Feature, sponsored by Esteban Carreras and the Chupacabra.
Esteban Carreras Creature Feature.
All right, today's Creature Feature, we're going back a little bit. Back to 2002. We're time traveling.
We are.
Because I wanted to see... to steal from Wayne's World.
It's an homage to Wayne's World, not stealing.
Okay, homage. Fine, use that word. I wanted to see a werewolf movie, damn it. And I wanted it to be a good one and not one that had werewolves that were sexy. That wanted to be sexy and molest girls.
Yeah.
So, what was that? Big Bad Wolf or whatever the hell?
Yeah, Big Bad Wolf. Yeah.
So I told him about a movie that I saw a long time ago, back in 2002. I think I probably saw it in 2004, called Dog Soldiers. And that
don't let the name fool
you.
you.
Esteban Carreras. You think there's going to be dogs, like werewolves running around with, like freaking what do you call it? The dream sequence from American Werewolf in London, where they are dressed up and they're shooting people.
Right. Yeah.
It's not that at all. But it is a very well made.
Takes place in Scotland. And I wasn't expecting it to be a werewolf movie because it said dogs. It didn't say werewolves or wolves. So yeah. So, but I like a good werewolf flick, and I enjoyed it. I was really not expecting a good movie. I was expecting one of our typical goofy creature features, but certainly is a creature feature, and I enjoyed it. You want to set up the premise?
All right, so the premise is there's some soldiers. We don't know what branch they are. It said Army, I think, on the side of the helicopter. They get dropped off for a training exercise. So
in Scotland, by the way.
They're rocking blanks, and they're supposed to be another group out there that they're going to be doing war games with. And in the process of doing these war games, shit hits the fan, and they talk about rumors of how there might be animals out here that are killing people, and they talk about maybe that it's werewolves, and they're like, yeah, okay, whatever,
And we do have the obligatory couple out in the woods.
Death scene at the beginning.
At the very beginning.
Which was weird to me. Did you notice one thing
He
about that?
had hands and pulled her out of the tent. It was a man's hands. Those were not wolfy hands.
Well, not only that, she never screamed. Did you notice that? She just kind of made like noises, but it wasn't screaming.
Yeah.
It was like,
I thought when she got pulled out, I heard her scream.
Yeah, but it took a while for her to scream. I'm like, what the hell?
Well, she was in the throes of passion. She was probably just startled as to what the hell's going on with me.
Yeah, so there is a little bit of a, the beginning sequence actually, a lot of times you can skip the first sequence because it doesn't really have any relevance to the movie. But this one does have relevance. So there is an element in the first scene that will come back later. So do watch the first scene. Don't go get your popcorn and stuff. Sit your ass down and watch the first scene.
Besides the first scene, that scene's usually the best one.
Yep.
It really is in a lot of movies. It's the best one. Think of the Scream movies. All the first three especially. The first kill was actually the best kill of all of them.
Yep. I think there were some really good kills in this
one.
Oh, there
was.
I liked it.
There were. There definitely were.
And this movie was, made back in 2002. So what's funny is you watch it now, and there's a lot of actors in this that actually have gone on to do other stuff that are, I wouldn't say name actors, but they've gone on to, do small parts in other films, and you recognize them. So,
yes. There
is some actors in there that the main actor was the main actor listed. The first actor was Sean Pertwee, who was a sergeant. I don't really think they ever said his full name in the movie, did they?
I don't think so.
Sergeant.
I know his wife's name was Annie. I remember that. But
Sergeant Harry G. Wells, which is obviously a nod to H.G. Wells. Yeah. And his right hand man was a Private Cooper, who was his buddy that
Kevin
he's known.
McKidd or something.
Yeah, Kevin McKidd.
Yeah.
And both of them have been in a lot of movies recently. Kevin McKidd was in both of the
Percy Jackson.
Percy Jackson flicks, and Sean Pertwee was in some stuff as well. I got to look him up here, but in the old IMDb.
Greatest website ever.
That doesn't have boobs.
Right.
And these guys are, all British actors and stuff. And he was in Equilibrium. He was in Event Horizon. He was in Soldier. He's been in quite a few flicks that you would know. It's one of those faces you see him and go, I know that guy. I've seen him in this. I've seen him in that.
It's the worst kind of actor for me because it will destroy my night. Because I will go through their IMDb page, poring over trying to figure out where I've seen this guy.
Yep. He does a lot of video game voices, too.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I knew him from Mutant Chronicles, which is a really crappy movie with Thomas Jane, but that's a different. May have to watch that as a creature.
Had Thomas Jane in it. That says enough.
Yeah, he makes a lot of crappy movies. You see the commercial for the new stupid Frankenstein thing that's coming out?
God.
Oh my God, why do they call Frankenstein's monster Frankenstein? He's not Frankenstein. He's the monster. God, that frustrates the shit out of me. I can't stand that.
But even Mel Brooks did it with Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, true story. Son of a bitch. I'll give Mel a pass, though.
Yeah, he's Mel Brooks.
Exactly. So,
I work for Mel Brooks.
So they go out there. They're supposed to be fighting these other guys, for play and playtime, wartime, war games. There you go.
Maneuvers.
Yeah. Maneuvers.
Yeah.
And they find out that all these guys are freaking killed. They're all dead except for one guy.
Yeah.
Who was the guy who's now in Game of Thrones. So another guy who's in stuff.
Yeah.
And his name is Captain Ryan, and he's
the prick of the
movie. He is a prick, yeah. And it goes along with the first scene was really kind of two scenes, really.
Yeah, it was two scenes.
Yeah,
right?
There was like a scene before the scene that had the people in the killing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And basically what it boils down to is this Private Cooper guy knows Ryan because he applied to be in the Special Forces team and didn't pass the test.
Yes.
Because he wouldn't take an animal's life. For
no
good reason.
That's an intense scene.
Yeah, intense scene. Very intense scene.
Yeah.
So,
that's when I realized, this is going to be a real movie.
Yeah. There's actually some thought behind this.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
And boy, is it beautiful over there in Scotland where they filmed it in the Highlands. We should have been drinking Highland whiskey.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Oh, well. But yeah, very, very well-made flick. One of the things I liked about it was that they opted to not do a lot of CGI.
Yep.
The director wanted it to be a lot of in-camera stuff because he thought at that time in horror movies there was way too much CGI. So that was cool.
As there is still to this day.
And there's a cool trivia on this. So we're going to go into some of the trivia stuff. And I don't know if you saw this in the movie, but I noticed it. There's a scene where the what do you call it? Not the private, but the other guy, H.G. Wells.
Sergeant.
Sergeant. There you go. The sergeant gets hurt, and they're trying to fix him, and he's like, knock me out. And he punches him, and he's like, oh, hit me for real. And he's like, hit me like a real man or something. He punches him the second time. Apparently, the second time he punched him, he really hit him.
Yeah, I thought it looked really real.
He really hit him.
That's the way his arm went back, like he was.
And he just went boom. He was just down. So apparently, he really clocked him, and the guy said he hit him in the nose. And he was out. He didn't feel it because apparently he was drunk when they did the scene.
Oh, they really did. Really was drunk. Okay.
He really was drunk.
Because they were doing the old give him whiskey so that we can.
Yeah, so he's method acting there. He's like,
although I didn't know this, if this is true, and I can't believe it wouldn't be, but the sergeant gets
gutted,
almost disemboweled, and so they shove it back in, and they use super glue
to close them back
close it up. And apparently that was what super glue was made for, and during the Vietnam War was to seal up injuries. I did not know that.
Yep.
And I guess it worked so well that they said, hey, let's make money on this.
Yep. And they used it for super glue, and now it's again used for healing up wounds. They got that bandage.
So it went from Vietnam to being on that guy's helmet so he could
hang
on from the balance beam.
Back to being a Band-Aid. Yeah. So pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
And just that scene was like, yeah, if you get gutted and your guts are hanging out, I think you're kind of done.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
This is some interesting trivia that I thought was really cool. Jason Statham was originally the top runner to play Private Cooper, but he had to back down at the last minute to do John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars. Bad choice, Jason.
Bad choice. Although he got to work with Natasha Henstridge in that.
Yeah, but that movie was fucking
horrible. It's the worst John Carpenter movie ever.
It is literally the worst John Carpenter movie. Yeah, it's horrible. Simon Pegg was offered a role in this movie, but he turned it down after Edgar Wright, who's the director who did all the Cornetto trilogy movies, asked him to save his first horror flick for Shaun of the Dead. So he would have been in it too.
Okay, well, good. I'd rather have Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, he would have done both. But
he didn't want it to be his first.
Yeah. And there, like I said, very little CGI used in the movie because people involved in the filming believed that CGI was being overused at the time and took the viewers out of the movie. So they focused on how the special effects looked rather than the story. Thus, the werewolves were animatronics and bodysuits with stilts. So yeah, they were very tall and lanky werewolves when they showed them.
And CGI is still being used too much, everybody out there in Hollywood. Don't just think at that time it was being overused. It's still overused in horror. We've seen over several movies we've watched over the past few months that you can make a very good horror film without CGI.
Yeah, true story.
True story. Okay.
Yep.
But
so there's a lot of really cool trivia on this. I'm not going to get too far into it, but
of course they get holed up in a farmhouse, which I figured out immediately what was going on there.
Yeah.
That was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, I wonder what's happening." I'm like, "Duh."
Yeah.
And
there is a twist at the end that's really obvious. It's not really much of a twist.
Yeah.
And it's one of those twists that when it does happen, you're like, ah, and then you go, wait a minute. It's kind of like, okay, if that was, then why didn't this? And then you're right.
Then you start piecing it back together.
Yeah, the logic doesn't really work, and you're like, shit. But it's still a very entertaining.
Hey, I enjoyed watching it. I was not looking forward to this movie. Put it off. Watched it yesterday and was texting Brandon. Yeah.
Solid flick. Yeah.
People kept coming in the lounge, so I kept having to pause it. I'm like, oh,
yeah. Good action sequences. Well paced. Good dialogue. You got some character development. You actually cared when people died, which is pretty rare in horror movies nowadays.
Especially a military horror movie like that.
Exactly. You expect it to be kind of faceless, nameless guys.
Yeah. You got your typical guys kicking each other in the balls and getting all pissy with each other and stuff like that. But yet, you still kind of like all the guys.
Yeah.
Except for the main bad guy.
Captain
Ryan or whatever.
Jackass.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, it's a cool flick. Definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. I know it's probably an older flick, so probably people have seen it. But if it's one that you skipped because you didn't really hear a whole lot about it, check it out.
It's very good. Liked it a lot.
Very much.
And I thought the guy that played the sergeant, he really won me over. I mean, that character won me over. I mean, Cooper did too, the private, but that character really won me over because he's kind of typical drill sergeant guy at the beginning.
Yeah.
But then he lets on that he has a little bit of heart.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's still a big-time drill sergeant. But he takes his job seriously. These are his men.
Yep.
He takes each loss of life with each one personally.
Yeah, and you're rooting for him too.
Yeah, you really are.
And this is an interesting little factoid here. The movie takes place. One of the first things that Sergeant Wells says is, "Get in positions. I want bearings, and I want to be able to be on the move in 3 minutes." They actually filmed it so that scene from when he says that to when they start moving is actually 3 minutes.
Good.
So it's real time.
That's awesome.
That's cool. Because usually, I mean, there's a lot of dialogue delivered in that too.
There is.
There's a
Next
lot of stuff
talking about the soccer
going
match.
Yeah. Yep.
And
a lot of
he wanted to go home and nail his wife and drink booze.
So the 3 minutes was well used, and it's a cool flick. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. If you want a good werewolf flick, other werewolf flicks that I would recommend. If you haven't seen them, classic. The Howling is awesome.
The Howling's great.
Very cool.
American Werewolf in London.
American Werewolf in London is classic. That's probably one of the best. Company of Wolves, if you haven't seen it, is a really cool take on the whole Little Red Riding Hood thing.
Yeah.
And it's got a lot of sexualized kind of innuendo.
Dark Wolf was kind of that same way too. I don't know if you saw that, but it's very sexualized, but also very intense.
Yep.
There's one that's we're missing a big one.
Where?
I can't think what it is.
The Wolfman with Lon Chaney?
No.
You're thinking like from the 80s or what?
Oh, you know what I'm thinking of?
Wolfen?
Lost Boys. Lost Boys were vampires. Never mind. That's what I was thinking of.
Wolfen was another one. The one with Albert Finney. Did you ever see that?
I saw it, but I don't remember it. I saw it when I was a kid.
Yeah. It was one of the ones I enjoyed when I was a kid, and I watched it again. I was like,
All the Howling sequels are garbage.
They're garbage. The marsupials, like what they freaking kangaroo, wolf, what the hell?
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, those were horrible. But the first Howling is a classic. So yeah, there's some good werewolf movies out there. Probably better werewolf movies out there than there are vampire movies, just because of the whole recent trend.
Yeah, I agree.
But that ends today's Esteban Carreras Creature Feature.
Esteban Carreras Cigars. Super premium cigars at a great price. They're scary good.
So what you think?
It's tasty. It's changed a little.
It has, yeah.
I'm getting a little more pepper on the tongue.
It's definitely, my tongue is like on fire right now.
It's tingling big time. Mm-hmm. This is very interesting.
Are you getting any?
It kind of went in an area that I wasn't expecting it to go to, but
It's gotten milder, I think. The pepper is there on the tongue, but when you smoke it and you keep the smoke in your mouth and you blow it out, it's a little milder. So it is. It starts medium, kind of gets a little mildish in the middle, but it may also
that's
be
an interesting scenario where you get peppery but get milder. But
Yeah,
you
it's
can do
interesting.
that,
It is
yeah.
weird. Yeah, it's just But you know what it is? I know. Not necessarily milder, but creamier.
Yeah, could be that.
It's
Could be
getting a
that.
little creamy. There's a little cream in that coffee, but it's still very black coffee.
Very black, dark black coffee.
All right, so we're about to the end of the second third here. We're going to take a little break, come back for the last third of the Ezra Zion FHK. All right, so we're back for the last third of the Ezra Zion FHK.
FHK.
So what you think?
I am interested to try it again.
Yeah, I think it's one I'd like to get a couple, shove them in the humidor, let them have a couple months, and try them again, see what they think.
And I could, but as is, I could definitely recommend this cigar. I wouldn't have a problem telling someone, give this thing a shot. It's got a lot of flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't say it's boring in the least. It does change. It's got, puts off a lot of smoke.
Kind of reminds me more of like a Dominican,
Maybe.
Oh,
I don't know.
somewhere.
Maybe a
Honduran.
Honduran.
There you go, Honduran. Yeah.
But it's a beautiful cigar. Smoking great.
Yeah, and puts out a lot of smoke too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, you're talking like Liga level smoke here coming out of this thing. Especially when we first lit it up, it was just like plumes of
And
smoke.
it certainly holds the record for being the first cigar in a while that didn't burn out on me during the Esteban Carreras Creature feature. Because that happens every time.
Yeah. Now, was it because you didn't put it down and you were smoking it, or because you put it down and you were still
Well,
talking
even
but
now,
it didn't go
during
out?
long talking periods, even though I was holding it, I wasn't smoking it because I was talking, but it stayed lit the whole time.
Yeah.
During the break, I got up to go do some stuff, came back, and it was...
Yep.
You even asked me, is it still going? I said, yeah, it's still
Yep.
going.
So that's good. It means
And,
well-rolled cigar.
Yeah. And the flavor profile is just hard to pinpoint. That's why I'm curious to try it again to see if maybe this time I can pick out some more.
The last third's gotten a lot more earthy for me.
Yeah, I'm
it's
getting
definitely
that.
more earth. It's like a dirty earth kind of flavor. There's still really no level of sweetness in it. So if you're looking for like a sweet Nicaraguan with that,
With that power but sweetness. To,
you're not going to get the sweetness. So don't expect the sweetness. But it does have a lot of flavor in it. There's pepper. There's like a espresso coffee.
Maybe pecan-ish.
Yeah, maybe
We
a
don't know.
pecanish kind of wood or like an oaky wood. Yeah, so you've got some variety in there, and it changes. I mean, you go from the first third, second third to last third. It got mild, it got strong again, so it's
And
definitely
I got mild
stronger.
again, and we got
Yeah.
we had that little creamy portion there for a while too.
Yeah, which was a nice change.
Yeah, so it's a complex cigar with a lot of flavor. So
Yeah.
why would you not want to try that?
And a little bit cheaper than the other Ezra Zions that are out there.
A little bit, yeah.
So hey, cool.
And we're
beans.
pulling for those guys at Ezra Zion.
Yeah, they put out some
Not that
great.
they need us to pull for them; they're doing fine on their own.
Yeah.
But hey, everyone likes to have someone in their corner, and they know we've got their back on this one. This is a good company, good guys. I was thrilled to see Brandon go over there. He's one of our favorite reps anyway, who was with a company that wasn't with a product he couldn't sell, and now he has a product he can sell. He's with good guys, so I'm very happy for the company and for Brandon.
Different Brandon, not this Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon Holdsworth. We
There you
gave
go.
him a shout out earlier. Good guy. All good
very good
guys.
guy.
All good guys.
So we do have some shout outs because we've got a couple of weeks worth of shout outs that we didn't get to. And
of the
we're sorry
holidays
about
and
that
stuff,
with the
yeah.
holidays and everything. Yeah.
But we never tell you when you're going to get your shout out. We just tell you will get a shout out. Now, if you're someone who listened to an old episode from like episode 30 or 25 or something like that, and you just now gave us a like or something, it's going to be hard for us to find those because we don't go back that far. So listen to the new ones and shout out or comment there. Okay, on Facebook we've got Jeff. Let's see if I can pronounce his last name. Hirschauer. How do you pronounce that name? Hirschauer.
Like her in the shower.
Her in the shower. That's it, Jeff. Her in the shower. He knows we're kidding him. Bloody Bill Pond, who was a guest, and he liked us. Steven Stein, another of our old buddies, Zane Gamble. From YouTube, he's alive. He's back. Kirk from Poolside Cigar Reviews. Shout out, Kirk. Craig Myers from Blind Man's Puff.
Cool.
Eddie Stogie fan, another long time. Anthony Tassin, which I believe is a friend of yours.
Yep, Anthony Jassen's from Stogie Friends. He
Okay.
also got a couple shout-outs from him on Google Plus as well. Anytime we put a video up, he gives it a +1 on the Google Plus. So thanks a lot, Anthony.
Okay. David Livingston and this is from Twitter. David Livingston, his Twitter handle is @TJ Cigar Lounge. I don't know where that's at. So, that's nice. Shout out from another cigar lounge, from Calypso to TJ. Now we're going to save our celebrity ones for last.
Okay.
Okay? Because we each got a celebrity follow. This guy's following me and the store. Sean God Everything. I don't know what he is. I don't know if it's one of those religious bot type sites or if it's just a guy who listens to the show. I don't know. But shout out to you. Top Cigar Blog. Nice to have other cigar blogs listening to us. Peter Grebe. And I hope I pronounced this right. Debracente Attila. And this handle is Attila Debracente on Twitter. And then my last one is one more in the back.
Would have been cool if it's a woman. She could have been Attila the honey.
Attila the Honey, that would be awesome. Drew at the Cigar Guys, and his Twitter handle is All Cigars Drew. Okay.
Cool. Man, I got some shout-outs from Twitter as well. We got some new followers. We got David Livingston's also following me, who's from TJ Cigar Lounge.
Cool.
North of Havana.
Cool.
Famous smoke shop. Hey, famous.
Wow.
Guayacan Cigars, which I'll have to find out something about them because I have not heard of them. Yeah. Bob Meyer and Nomad Cigar Company, which we just talked about. They made like the top 10 list.
Yeah.
Micah McKay, Lions Creed Cigar, which is another cigar company that's boutique cigars. We need to talk to them. Tobacco Locker Cigars.
Okay.
And then we've got our Teresa Kelton, who's a musician from Austin.
Cool.
Thanks, Teresa. And then we've got a couple in Google Plus as well. Anthony Tassin, of course, was there at Google Plus. We've got Kevin Kapathy from Stogie Friends. We've got Greg. I always forget this guy. I just lost it. Where'd he go? Greg Kramer, who's also in Stogie Friends, also gave us. He always +1s as well on the videos, so
cool.
Gotta love that.
All right.
Nate, who's I think Mr. Stogie Boy.
Yeah, I think so.
And we've also got an old friend of ours that had kind of dropped off a while, Shagwa.
Shagwa's back.
Shagwa's back. Gave me a really good. He personal messaged me and said he loved the Blind Man's Puff episode. It was awesome. He says he wants more of those. It was a blast.
Cool.
And also got Ken Monteith, who was the roller.
Oh, cool.
Ken gave us a couple of shout outs on there as well. And from Cigar Fellas, we got a very nice compliment from Moose over there, who said he listens to the show and he loves it, and that's awesome. He's been talking about doing a podcast too, but he's like, just listen to yours. So
that's what we recommend.
That's a great compliment. So,
it is a great compliment.
And check out Cigar Fellas. It's a great site. They do some really good reviews over there.
Great. Cool.
So yeah, and then we've got our celebrity ones. So
okay, I'll do mine first since it's a conglomerate celebrity and yours is an actual real celebrity. And it's about damn time. Many times as I've mentioned this show, Wipeout. ABC's Wipeout is following me, and I thought maybe it was just because they follow all their followers. But so no, I looked, and they've got over 50-something thousand followers, and they only follow 20,000 of them. So that means I'm in the top 40% or whatever, however you work that. So I don't know how they picked me. Maybe because I follow Jill. Maybe because I follow John Henson, and I follow them. Maybe follow 3 of the 4. They. By the way, John Henson's worth following. He's funny.
Yeah, he is funny.
He's annoying kind of on Wipeout, but he's funny as shit on his tweets.
Yeah.
But anyway, so thank you, Wipeout.
Cool.
All my shilling paid off.
And I have a couple on Twitter too. It was a random follow, which I thought was kind of cool because I dig the guy. I think he's hilarious. Chris Gore, who is a movie critic, and he spent a lot of time on G4 TV on Attack of the Show doing his movie critic stuff there. And he's also a comedian, so he started following me. And right after he started following me, I got 2 other followers. One was that Teresa Kelton, who follows him, who's a musician in Austin, and then Ali Spagnola, who is a musician / director, writer.
Nice.
She's a kind of a jack of all trades. So that's cool.
Very cool. So we entice more celebrities to follow us.
Which is great. I don't know how I earned that, but okay.
Yeah, like how did that just random out of nowhere? Because I've been following them for a while, and then just one day I just looked and I couldn't read the text. So I figured it was something from you, and I figured I'd just wait till I got home, and it said, Wipeout is following you. Like, no shit. sure enough, figured it was a joke. What's that? Cool.
Very cool.
And you don't know how Chris Gore started following you?
No, I don't know, but Chris Gore's a cool dude.
Idea.
Him and I like the Kung Fu flicks. He likes Kung Fu flicks. I'd like to get him on the show and talk Kung Fu flicks with him or horror flicks. Cool. He's also a big horror movie guy, so maybe there's a connection there. Yeah. I don't know.
And I've not seen a lot of Attack of the Show, but I've seen enough that I'm aware of it, and it's a good show.
Oh, yeah, it's
No
cool.
doubt.
I enjoyed it. When Kevin Pereira was on there and Olivia Munn was on there, that was the heyday for that show, and I think they've both moved on, and I think the show's even gone now. I don't know. I stopped watching G4 once that kind of changed. So
yeah.
But yeah,
so that's the guy that hosted it most of the time.
It was Kevin Pereira.
Was that,
He was
that's
the host,
right.
yeah.
That's right. Okay.
So K-Per, as they called him. But I got a bone to pick with Hellboy.
Oh, okay. Hellboy or Dollboy?
No, Hellboy.
Oh,
You know
Hellboy. Okay. Yeah.
Sons of Anarchy. That guy.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman. You bastard.
He sold out.
I met Ron Perlman at a Comic-Con convention here in Dallas. And, you know, I've seen Sons of Anarchy. I've seen Hellboy. The guy smokes cigars. He's always got a cigar in his hands.
Yeah.
So I met him, you know, talked to him for a couple minutes and said, hey, you know, I do a cigar podcast. I'd love to interview about cigars. He's like, oh, cigars, yeah. Man, he goes, I love cigars, but I can't smoke them anymore. I stopped smoking cigars. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I just, you know, I was an inhaler and I got really sick and my doctor's like, you can't do it anymore, so I stopped smoking them. I'm like, oh, man, that just like, it's like a knife in the heart. And I'm like, shit.
Right.
Guess who's on the cover of Cigar Aficionado this month?
I saw it.
Ron Perlman. With a big, giant, long story about how he wanted to roll his own cigar and he's got a great collection and blah, blah. So,
He just didn't want to do our podcast, the bastard.
either that or he, you know, has to put a good front up for Cigar Aficionado so he can get the story out there. I don't know. But I was like, damn it, man. You know, just kind of like peeved at him for that. He's talked to the guy for about 15 minutes. He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know, who knows what's true if he was acting for
And maybe
me
at that
or if
point
he's
he had
acting
quit.
for them.
Maybe
Yeah.
at that point he had quit. You don't know.
You never know. Yeah.
We have customers that, you know, they'll come in here and they'll buy 3-4 cigars every 2 days for 6 weeks, and then we don't see them for 6 months. Where you been? Oh, I had to give them up. Why you back? I wanted to start again. Okay. So maybe that was the circumstances with
Yeah, you never
Hellboy.
know. I'd still like to try and get in contact with him and see if he's really quit or what, if that was just for, you know, they contacted him because he's on Sons of Anarchy and they wanted him to be on the cover. He's like, fine, I'll say I smoke cigars.
Did I hear he got killed off?
Yeah, he got killed off recently. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Isn't he like the biggest star on the show?
He was the biggest star on the show, yeah.
Might have wanted off so he could start rolling his own cigars.
You never know. He's got a funny little story in there about it, though. About he tried to get his own cigar line going, and he was getting this really crappy tobacco, and he's like, it's just about how you blend it, and it ended up tasting really good, but it was the worst rolled. It was like falling apart. He's like, yeah, I just gave up on it. So
I read a story from CA a few years ago, so you'll have to look it up because I forget who the blender was, but he ran into Sinatra at a party that's like mid-'90s, and he said they were introduced, and Sinatra's like, "Oh, you're a tobacco blender and cigar maker," and he said, "Yeah." He said, "I want a cigar. I want my own cigar," and he goes, "It has to be Dominican because they're the only things that sell right now." This is mid-'90s. And he's like, "Well, I don't have a factory in the Dominican." And Sinatra says, "How much to get a factory?"
wow.
He said, he gave him the number. He didn't tell the number in the story, and he said, X amount. Sinatra's like, "You want a check? Or you want me to wire the money tomorrow?" If you can find it on CA, search Frank Sinatra in there, and it's a great story, and you'll find out who the blender is. I don't remember who it was. Somebody I've heard of.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice to have that kind of money.
Right.
You want a check, or want me to just wire you the money tomorrow?
I got Frank Sinatra money. Yeah. I can't think of Frank Sinatra now without thinking of Joe Piscopo and Frank Sinatra.
I liked the Phil Hartman Sinatra, too.
Yeah, the
He
Phil
was
Hartman
great,
Sinatra
too.
was great, too. Sinatra.
Oh, yeah.
You are missed.
But Jeff Smith, who was on a previous episode, he owned a cigar store downtown Dallas in the mid-late 90s when I worked downtown.
Okay.
And so I went in there and I saw there was a Sinatra cigar, and I knew nothing about cigars at all. But it had Sinatra's name on it, so I picked that up. Just like, you know, I'll try to do his thick Brooklyn accent. "You don't want that cigar, man." I'm like, "Why?" Okay, I'm not going to do the accent anymore. He goes, "Sinatra doesn't know shit about cigars." I'm like, "Well, I'm sure he has a blender that knows." I said, "I'm sure he's not blending them himself." He goes, "Sinatra's a cigarette smoker. That cigar sucks." And I remember it being Jeff later on. I told him the story, and he goes, "I remember that story." And he didn't remember me from shit. Because I only went to his store like twice.
Yeah.
He goes, "I remember telling you that." He goes, "That was you?" I'm like, "Yeah, that was me." He goes, "You were arguing with me." So I was a Sinatra fan. It's like you were pissing on my bed, you know? I bought the cigars, okay. It wasn't anything special. But
You bought them anyway.
I bought it anyway.
Well, fuck you, I'm buying them. Fine, spend money in my store, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, we joke about that story from time to time. Small world, like 15 years later, I meet the guy and I see him all the time now.
Yep. He makes some good cigars, yeah. We reviewed the Sublime back in the day.
Back in the day. And the James Norman.
And the James Norman, yeah.
James Norman, we've ranked very highly on our list, too.
True story, yep.
It's a good cigar. You need to go back and try one again. When's the last time you've had one?
It's been a while, man.
Because I had
It's been
one
a
at
long
the
while.
Christmas party.
I had the Sublime at the Christmas party. I didn't have the James Norman.
And I was like, why don't I smoke this more often? That
Yeah.
James Norman's really good.
We didn't do our list.
We got time.
Okay. Top 5 of the year
For
for you. Now,
2013.
are these cigars that came out this year?
We'll try to do that. Okay.
All right.
I will put the James Norman at number 5.
Okay.
I will put the Alec Bradley, what was the one that came out?
The Mundial?
No, the one that we
The
reviewed with Phil.
Nica Puro.
The Nica Puro, yes. Like that cigar a lot.
Okay.
Number 3, I'll go Nica Rustica.
Okay.
Number 2, I will go the Herrera Esteli Serie R. I really like that cigar. I've revisited it since. It's a good stick.
Wait. Herrera Esteli or the
I'm the La Gloria Herrera.
Okay.
La Gloria
Cubana.
La Gloria Esteli Serie R. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
And then the Ezra Zion Tantrum. And don't feel bad because it's being Ezra Zion that I'm saying that. I've said that numerous times.
Okay. So my number 5 will be the Nica Puro because that became a everyday smoke for me. I love that cigar. Went through a box. Love it. It's a good cigar. Number 4 for me would be the crap. What did you have on yours?
La Gloria
No.
had Herrera. No, I didn't Herrera. Had Nica.
I'm gonna have Herrera, but mine's gonna go. Okay, I'll say Nica Rustica number 4. Number 3 for me would be the. God, what else came out in 2012? Crap.
You mean 13?
monkeys. 2013. Yeah, sorry. So we got what I said: the Nica Puro,
Yeah.
the
Nica Rustica.
Nica Rustica. You didn't put Mundial in yours at all.
I've only had the one. So I don't know.
That blew me away, dude. I'm gonna put Mundial at number
Okay.
3. I'll put Herrera Esteli at number 2, and I'll put the Zion Tantrum at number 1.
Yeah.
So, and this is just off the cuff, but
Yeah. If we had done some prep, it would have
Like
sucked
we never
because
do.
we never do prep. A couple of times we've done prep were some of our worst shows. So, anyway, but
So two
yeah,
Bradleys
just off the
and-
top of my head.
Two
you know,
Bradleys, 2 Drew Estates, and a Ezra Zion.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
I was a little more diverse, but I still had,
Yep.
you know.
Well, that's all I could think of.
Yeah, I understand.
I
The only
may
reason I
even
thought of
put
James Norman was because we were talking about James Norman, and I do remember really liking that cigar.
I may
when
even
first-
take one of those out and put the CAO Flathead on there because I'm really impressed by that.
If I had to
cigar.
take one out, I would put. Okay, but they did an honorable mention. I'll do my honorable mention. I like that. Just went out of my head.
Flathead.
I like the flathead a lot. Don't get me wrong. I liked that. Shit,
Was it CAO? Was it? Who was it?
I don't remember. Was it? Oh, the. God.
The God? There's a God
There's
cigar.
a God cigar.
Awesome.
That one, the Black Label mark. Black
Oh,
Label.
Black Label
No,
Trading
no,
Company.
No. The GER, the Grand Empire Reserve.
Oh yeah, the Renato.
Sorry about James Norman. It's great. That's an honorable mention. The Renato actually moves everything up. That's two.
Crap! Now I got to revise my list.
Okay, number 1, Tantrum.
Okay, number
Number
1,
2,
Tantrum. Number
Gur.
2. Number 2 for me would be still the Herrera Esteli because I love that cigar.
Mine's the Renato Grand Empire
Mine
Reserve.
would be the Renato Grand Reserve. Number 3.
Mine 3 will be La
Nica-
Gloria Cubana
Nica
Esteli.
Rustica is number 4 for me,
Nica Rustica's number 4 for me.
and then number 5 for me is the Puro.
Is
Alec
the
Bradley, Nica Puro.
There we go.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
That's a good list, yeah.
Yeah.
That Renato.
We
is
don't sell that
great.
Renato, but we're gonna. God, that cigar was great.
Yeah, it is a really good cigar.
Yeah.
Tasty freaking cigar.
I'm gonna
like-
ride Matt till he buys that, even over the cigar that I'm repping.
Right?
Anyway, he's gonna buy that one too.
Yeah.
And if he does, we'll review it because it's a very good. They're both very good sticks.
Yeah, they are. Okay, so as always, check us out at iHeartRadio. Give us the heart there.
Yep.
Check us out at Stitcher, Spreaker, Podomatic. Go on the iTunes and subscribe and give us the review, 5-star review. Helps us to get up the list so people can find us.
Yep.
Go to Facebook and like us. Go to Twitter and
Follow us.
Follow us on Twitter and
Tweet us.
Tweet about us. And go to Google Plus and give us the +1s when the reviews pop up.
Like us on Facebook,
Always appreciate it.
and comments on YouTube are loved, and subscribes on YouTube. We need subscribers on
Yep.
YouTube.
We want to get past 100. That'd be
Yes,
nice.
we're close. We're getting
Close.
close.
We're getting there. So
90 now, I think.
Yep, something like that. So as always, it's been great smoking with you.
See you later, Brandon.
See you later, Randy.